Okay, ebizoba makwa abasonko so ereba Ghana Politics Avenue so retired Ghana Air Force officer bi ede ensem shocking revelation on aircraft crash na ya Lucy ye defense minister and three and as a cabinet ministers na busua waba ababe maye deep info on the reason why plane no crash and as a black box no neoma apeke intela apeke ewo airplane mu nyina na abusua sa retired Ghana Air Force officer we no waba be drop sa hint ni nyina amaya abusua wa kire ye die nti a esi sa amome yenko na yenkonkotie ensema ekoso na Ninsem ni bia okan or say the voice recorder will record all communication between the pilot and control center. The parameters of the site are also monitored before the crash, so this will give us a sense of what happened. Abusuya, momi yanko na yanko nkutie ninsema or the tuja. Unsubscribe ya subscribe like na share ma afofron so answer into me enkabi. Aha, Ghana Politics Avenue so medamase.
This afternoon, a retired Air Force officer, Wing Commander Patrick Sogbajo, is urging investigators probing the helicopter crash to focus on what could have caused the chopper to fly that low. He explains despite helicopters generally maintaining low altitudes, impact with high objects are nearly impossible unless the plane is having a major challenge. He's been speaking on TV3's New Day.
In the onset of any accident, the immediate thing the Air Force or Air Force will put on a board of investigation. And they will start investigating from the starting point to the point of the accident, assess it, and then give the report. And I think that situation has been done already. The board of inquiry already.
Generally, as a pilot, before you get into the aircraft and take off, we understand there are a series of activities that.
So the first thing you do is to go up to the airplane and you do external inspection of the aircraft. You know, the external factors are also very important. Then when you go into the cockpit, there's pre-start checks that you do. After you finish a pre-start, you start the engine. There's after-start checks you do. If all is okay with you as a pilot, then you have accepted that the airplane, whether it's civil or whether it's military, is good enough to fly.
In terms of the permission that is granted by the control tower, in that analysis, will it include the weather condition?
Yes, they will always give you weather condition. In fact, before you even go up, you yourself will even consult the control tower. You have your map. You know the areas you are flying. You know the heights. All these things are taken in consideration. So the control tower gives you the weather prevailing.
An aspect of the conversation that has to do with such helicopters, we understand they generally fly a bit lower than the other.
Yes, we do fly. They do fly a bit lower. Our flying jet fighters. But then if you look at this particular incident, I don't think any pilot will plan a flight unless this is a specific instructions given you. I don't also think they will have any tree in Ghana here which is about 1,000, 2,000 feet. That's coming. So definitely you'll be flying above that one, but you'll not go and fly a treetop. So I think what you have to find out what happened for the airplane to have come down to hit an aircraft or the rotor to touch. Because a helicopter, the power to be in the air is the rotors on top of it.
And as we continue to seek answers as to why the chopper came down on that fateful Wednesday, the word black box has been thrown about a lot. But what is it and how crucial could it be to the investigations? And this is very important to know, coming on the back that we now have found this black box. Here's an explainer by Judith Brown on what this black box is at all.
In the aftermath of the tragic helicopter crash that claimed the lives of 8 individuals, including 2 cabinet ministers in Ghana, the search for answers begins. At the heart of this investigation is a critical component that can provide valuable insights into the incident, the black box. Well, the black box, despite its name, is actually a highly sophisticated recording device that plays a crucial role in investigating aviation incidents. It's a device that has been instrumental in unraveling the mysteries of some of the most catastrophic events in aviation history. The black box consists of two main components: the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder. The flight data recorder is a constant monitoring device which records flight trajectory, speed, altitude, engine performance, control surface positions, and system statuses. While the cockpit voice recorder, on the other hand, is like a witness to the events unfolding in the cockpit. It captures conversations between the pilots as well as any other sounds or warnings that may have occurred during the flight. So why was the black box created? The concept of the black box was first introduced in the 1950s and since then has evolved significantly. The Australian scientist Dr. David Waring, who worked on the investigation of the first commercial jet airliner crashes, invented the first practical flight recorder. The data recorded by the black box is a treasure trove of information that can provide critical insights into the events leading up to the crash. You can think of it as a watchdog. By analyzing the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder, data investigators can reconstruct the flight path, identify system failures, understand pilot actions, and determine the cause of the crash. And so in this tragic case of the helicopter crash, the black box data will be crucial in determining the cause of the incident and providing insights into the events leading up to the tragedy. By analyzing the data, investigators can work towards preventing similar events in the future. The black box has played a crucial role in numerous aviation accident investigations worldwide. From the Air France Flight 447 crash, which resulted in the loss of 228 lives, to the US Airways Flight 1549 miracle on the Hudson River, the black box has provided critical information that has helped investigators piece together the events leading up to the incident. The black box is more than just a device. It's a window into the past, a tool that can help us understand what went wrong and how we can prevent similar incidents in the future. The search for answers continues, and the black box will play a vital role in uncovering the truth behind this tragic event. As we reflect on the lives lost, it is the hope of Ghanaians that the investigation will provide closure for the state and, most importantly, the families of the deceased. Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Even whether or not investigations can bring closure, but as you may be well aware, the 8 persons who died in the military aircraft traveled in a Z9EH helicopter. Here's a news desk story on the Chinese-manufactured military helicopter.
The Z9EH military helicopter is a multi-role aircraft based on the Eurocopter Dolphin design with adaptation tailored for modern military demands. With a top speed of over 300 kilometers per hour and a flight range of up to 800 kilometers, the Z9EH is built for rapid troop deployment, search and rescue operations, and emergency medical evacuations, especially in difficult terrain and combat zones. The aircraft is powered by twin turboshaft engines and features a 4-blade main rotor system for stability and low noise. It has a critical advantage during stealthy troop movements and night operations. Inside, it accommodates up to 10 personnel or can be quickly reconfigured for stretcher-bound patients and onboard medical care. While not equipped for heavy firepower, the Z9EH can be fitted with surveillance equipment and light defensive armament, making it ideal for patrol, reconnaissance, and border security. It is low cost, easy to maintain, and performs well in both hot and high altitude conditions. In recent years, the Z9EH has been deployed in disaster response efforts, including food relief and earthquake rescue missions, proving its worth not just in war zones, but in humanitarian emergencies as well.
Now, Acting Chief Justice Paul Bafuboni has cautioned against politicizing the tragic helicopter crash that claimed the lives of 8 men on Wednesday. Speaking after he led a team to lay flowers in honor of the deceased, He urged the public to remain respectful and supportive during this moment of collective grief. He called for national unity.
Yes, this is a national tragedy. And yesterday, on behalf of the Judicial Service and the Judiciary, I released a statement of condolence to His Excellency the President, the government and the people, and the bereaved families. Now we are here to commiserate with the President by laying our flowers. And as I said yesterday in my statement, which was actually repeated by the President in his somber address to the people, these gallant men died in the course of duty. And so we should forge ahead in national unity and not politicize their deaths. We should all have recourse to their legacy they left behind and then serve our nations to the best of our ability. Thank you.
Nearly at the frontage of the Jubilee House, where dignitaries continue to come in quite some numbers. We've seen pastors, we've seen reps from Group Indum as well. A short while ago, we had the judiciary present, the prison service as well present. And for persons who cannot make it there, some of them are issuing statements. One of such statements from the Mortuary Workers Association of Ghana, who have also this afternoon expressed condolences to the families of the gallant 8 and praying their sympathies for them as well. It continues to be a very difficult spectacle, particularly for the families of these 8 and the president and the government. Very, very difficult time, Kemeni. You'd agree with me.
Absolutely. And there is no getting over this anytime soon. You know, like the speakers from the Jubilee Gardens have said, we look forward to how quickly the investigations are concluded so that the entire nation, but especially the families, can have closure.
Absolutely.
Whatever closure looks like for this nation.
It will be difficult closure, and I mean, I cannot fathom the position they are in, but if we get the details even, what does it do? It doesn't assuage the pain, the emptiness and all of that they will be feeling right now, and that's the difficulty that really you cannot comprehend.
Indeed. Now, President John Dramani Mahama says the armed forces has begun a full-scale investigations into Wednesday's helicopter crash. He was speaking during a national address on Thursday.
And as we mourn, questions about the cause of this tragedy are only natural and important. And I want to assure the families and the nation that the Ghana Armed Forces has initiated a full and transparent investigation into the circumstances of this crash. An investigative board of inquiry has been set up to investigate the cause of the crash. The flight data and cockpit voice recorders have both been retrieved. All 8 of the bodies of our departed comrades have been retrieved, and the government is in close touch with the bereaved families about identification of the bodies and final interment. In this moment of grief, let us remember that we are above all Ghanaians, united not just by our nationality, but by our shared hope, our shared humanity, and now our shared sorrow. Let us set aside our differences and offer our collective compassion to the bereaved families.
Mr. President, speaking late last night was a difficult watch as well, but still on this subject, samples of the remains of the 8 victims who died in that military crash on Wednesday have been flown to South Africa for DNA analysis to help identify each of the bodies for a befitting burial. The head of forensic analysis at the Criminal Investigations Department is leading the delegation to South Africa for the forensic analysis. My colleague Gordon Asidiba has more.
From the Jubilee Lounge of the Kotoka International Airport here in Accra. In front of me, you can see scenes filled with grief. Jata private jet has arranged this transportation for the mortal remains of the 8 victims who were involved in the tragic Z9 military helicopter crash that occurred yesterday in the dense forest of the Adanse Krofrom in the Ashanti region, where all of this happened. It's a movement that has brought the entire nation to a standstill. This evening, we have been told that the charge remains. Samples of them, of the deceased burnt beyond recognition, are being flown to South Africa for urgent DNA testing. It is the only way, as it stands, to confirm the exact identities of those on board this aircraft that has led us to this rather unfortunate news. The remains are being flown out on the Jata private jet, and we'll continue to follow this developing story and provide updates on the results of the DNA testing and upcoming funeral arrangements as well. But for now, from here at the Jubilee Lounge, it is a moment of reflection and a call for national unity in the face of profound grief.
To speed up the investigation, obviously we need to do further examination and investigation just for the avoidance of doubt.
Jubilee Gardens, where dignitaries continue to pay flower tributes to the men we lost on Wednesday. In the meantime, let's take you back to that moment when the Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mubarak, said forensic tests to be conducted on the remains of the 8 men who died in that helicopter crash on Wednesday. He told us that it will take some 12 hours to complete. He spoke to us shortly after a flight carrying the remains of the victims took off to South Africa.
To speed up the investigation, obviously we need to do further examination and investigation just for the avoidance of doubt. And some of the forensic that needs to be done, taking samples have to be done outside the country. So that's why we are trying to fast track, and you see all that. But I want to thank the families sincerely for all the cooperation that we've had from them and the support they've shown. We know they are grieving, they are in a hurry to have their family members so that they can attend them. But we are happy that they are cooperating with us, because it's not just about burying. It's beyond burying, trying to establish what happened, how things went, so that we avoid it into the future. And together with the Health Minister, the Minister for Lands, who is now acting as the Defense Minister, we've been working around the clock just to speed up everything. Aside everything, you are also a human being. So yes, we need to be able to hold on, to be able to move our country forward. You cannot continue crying forever, but we want to assure the family we are with them. We share in their pain, we grieve with them, and we are hoping that the good Lord will strengthen all of us in this difficult time.
Who is leading the team to South Africa?
Our forensic, the head of forensic at the police, CID, is the one leading that.
That's the Interior Minister, Muntaka Mubarak. Now, organised labour, they've expressed deep sorrow over the loss of 8 persons in that helicopter crash. In a strongly worded statement, the leadership called for the immediate grounding and comprehensive assessment of all military helicopters. Meanwhile, organised labour has called for a declaration of a state of emergency on Galamsey, or the nation risks losing more lives.
General of TUC Joshua Ansa says investigations must be thorough and transparent to restore public confidence in military aviation safety. He was also concerned about the Galamsey menace.
This issue about Galamsey indirectly has already started killing us. Had it not been this Galamsey, I wouldn't think that these ministers would be traveling to Obuasi yesterday. So it's a call for action for all of us to come together and ensure that we nip this Galamsey menace to the nip. We are all aware of what is happening to the presidential jet. It is time for us to call a spade a spade. Let's ground this plane and buy a new one for our president. If you buy it for the president, it's not for NDC, it's not for MPP, it's for the country. their safety is very, very, very important.
Okay, I was winning and some so our political high winning. So a retired Ghana Air Force officer, no, and I attend in Kase Odessa and some way to ja de amine. But I'm a some Japan Kokutiza and some way at my Ghana politics avenue. So, Madam say.